Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. I've got Toyseasy. It's a long name. YW2301, the CV16 aircraft carrier. I think his name is Shennong, and then Nong is like the name of the aircraft carrier. I don't know. All I know is I typed in Chinese CV16 aircraft carrier, and it came right up on Google, so I could see the real thing. So, big box. Big box. Very cool artwork. Got like blueprints of the ship and everything behind it. A lot of stuff in Chinese. This is like specs of the actual ship, at least according to Google Translate. Um, I guess this is all like, the weaponry and blah, 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 blah. Really cool if you're into ships. Uh, then there's all the side shots. And in the back, it's like artwork of the manga that this guy is based off. It's like snippets of it. So he is the center of the combined mode, and this is a big boy. Big boy. And the only thing, I left off all these little spikes. I put on all the other artillery and radars and all, but I left off all the spikes. You'll see that in a second, but I'm just going to say it now. And then, nothing on the back, just CV16 with like his head sculpt. Really cool. Really awesome. And let's get that out of there. And with this guy, I also got the accessory kit because I wanted the extra submarine, the second one, but it does come with all this stuff. I have not bothered to use any of it, but it is there. It shows you, like, things you could do and how to use this adapter and stuff like that. You can store his submarines on the back, so you can be jetpacks or back-mounted weapons, whatever. Really cool, again, and just like the main box, it comes in like black foam and everything's got a place. It's really well organized. Anywho, that's it for the packaging for the big guy. Speaking of which, here he is. Shennong. At least that's what I'm going to call him. There we go. And yep, he already does not fit in my camera frame. Amazing. Oh, and he is a big boy. Oh, he is beautiful. I love him. It's amazing. Just the simple red and gray with little blue accents and everything. It looks so good. Personally, I love it. Some people, this is going to be way too plain. It's going to be like a G1 type of thing. But I think he looks great. Let's get a good look. There we go. Let's get a good look at that head sculpt. There you go. Very Gundam-esque. These, you just got to be careful with playing because they do fold up for transformation. But, yeah. Nice metallic blue in the eyes. I think that is very cool looking. Some good detail all the way down. As far as the sculpt is concerned, little bits from the colors. This says like caution hot. Defend the sovereignty. Some caution. Going down to his feet. Some big old feet. So, zoom out. Work with me. Stand. All right. And let's set it here. And then he's got some kibble, of course. He's like a Bayverse design, but he's just based on a comic. He's pretty much original to whoever designed the manga. But so I mean, yeah, he's got some ship kibble, but it to me it looks fine. It's reasonable. Here's the back. The combined mode head can store on the back there, and it's locked in. It's got a little tab that locks it in. That is optional. You can take that off if you want, and that's where you can put on the adapter for the guns, and we will get there momentarily. But there you go. The tower of the aircraft mode, it's also on a ball joint. You could pop it off and leave it off if this is a little too much clutter. You don't have to have it there. but this is how it would be. And then, some large pieces of the aircraft carrier here just sticking out. You can see where those spikes would go. Like I said, they're too much clutter, and then they just get in the way on transformation. It is missing a propeller out of the box. I have not bothered trying to contact Bombus B yet to get me a replacement for that. To be honest, I just don't know if I'm going to bother. It's one propeller. It's fine. And I do not buy toys to resell them. I buy them because I want them. Oh boy, I wanted this guy. All right. Before we get into anything else, let's get into his accessories. So he comes with the 2 submarines. Here, let me bring you back a bit. Let's get a little bit closer to the table here. All right, so 2 submarines. You can take the tail off, reverse it, and it just slides in there, and now maybe it's supposed to be a jet booster of some kind. Maybe it's just an alternate way to use it as a gun. I'm not sure why, but either way. So I've got the one. Oh. There we go. That's a little bit better focus. So we got that. And then you have the gun mode itself with the smaller handle for robot mode. It's got this little trick to open them up. And that is that. There we go. And it's got some nice detailing in there. Nice detailing on the submarine mode as well. These all open to show little, if you can get your nail or something in there, they are easier said than done on opening. There, come on, come on. Okay. We're just going to open up a couple. You can see there's, missiles inside. Looks like this one might be missing one. That's cool. Anywho, anyway, listen, it's not perfect. So, submarines. Then you also get the adapter for the back. Just simply, this tab will go into the tab that is holding on the combined mode head, and then these pegs will peg onto the back, and then these pegs for the submarines. It does come with all the little plug-in accessories for like the turrets, and I'll show you that better when we get to ship mode. I still have a few left over, but it also comes with what looks like screw hole covers, which is really cool. I have not used any of them yet. Don't know if I will. And then you get your flight stand. It's got the 2 stickers. This one here, CV16. This one on the other side, I forget what it says, so I'll just show you. There we go. I'm sure that's probably the manga name, and then his name, Shennong. But I don't know, and Google Translate does not like those really stylized fonts. It just doesn't even register it. So, but there you go. It's the same pad that we got with 054A Huyi, that missile frigate. Same thing. It's got these little attachments. They can flip out, so you can plug into other stands. You've got a little bit of storage under here for whatever fits with these posts and ports, and then you've got a handle. I guess probably the combined mode, or maybe this guy can use that. Not going to plan on doing that though. This thing is, it's hollow and it's just plastic, but it's got enough weight to it. I don't think the robots would be able to handle it very well. All right, so there's that. And then, of course, you get a collector's card and you get your instructions. Nothing special with either of those. So, let me go ahead and show you the weapon storage next. Sorry for all the constant up and down with my camera here, but yeah, it's still a relatively low-tech setup. So, anyway, we're going to just undo that tab and just pop the head right off the post. Set that off to the side. We'll take this, and let's see, which way did I figure it? Because you can see this tab is offset. I think I had it farther away. Nope, closer. Get it so the tab is closer to the body. And then that is on a little bit of a slider. There we go. And then just fold it in. There we go. So we got that set up. What did I compress over here? Oh, I untabbed this red panel. Okay. There we go. Cool. Nothing important. That's just there for show in this mode. So we got those ports. And so we've got a port right here, a port right here, and then a small post right here. And that's on both submarines. So you can do multiple things with these, and I'm going to show you everything. So first of all, here we are in gun mode. You can see you can just close those up either by holding them or using the switch, but either way. So if we want to use that one, you can have it facing up, facing down, whichever way you want. There's one way. Take it off, rotate it around, do it that way. This way, it's very, very top heavy, but you could do it if you wanted to. Just for argument's sake, I'll keep that one like that. This one, again, pop that out. Let's say this was going to be a jetpack. There you go. And you just make sure his ankles are good. I've got his knees straight right now. Making sure his feet are stable. And yep, there he goes. He stands with them. He does not appear to have any kind of a lean. I guess I've got his legs forward a little bit, but yeah, he's holding. And then, of course, you can just reverse it the other way if you wanted to. So I'm going to take these off and show you the other thing. In both of his arms, he's got this little post that can come out. Now, it's very stiff, very difficult for me to get out. It's very tight in there. The plastic surrounding it is a little on the flimsier side because it's so thin. So you can get it out, but it is a pain. And I don't remember what I did to get it out the first time. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead until I have that out. Give me a second. Okay, I got them out. I ended up using the end of my knife casing here to flip them out because my spudger is just not strong enough. It's only plastic. So anyway, now that we got that, we're going to use this port on the gun. I'll flip it open just because I can, and it's just going to fit right on there. And if you don't want to use that port, you can use the one that's way back here. It works just fine with both. And there you go. So it can be held, I guess that'd be forearm mounted, or you can flip out the smaller post in here, and it's got a slot, tab in the hand. Let me go ahead and bring his arm out a little bit here. And you can, of course, tab it in. Straighten his arm out a little bit more. That's the problem with how long it is. There we go. So, and it tabs in pretty good. It's not 100% secure, but it's good enough. And then once you wrap his fingers around, there you go. So, that should be everything for the weapons. I'll explain that in a minute when we get to articulation. Yeah, so that's it for the weapons. When we go to ship mode, I'll show you how to transform the one, whereas the other one, you just take that off, flip it around. Ta-da, it's a submarine. Okay. So now let's do some articulation here. So his head is on a ball joint, so you get side to side, up and down. That's as far up, that's as far down. But he does have, due to transformation, he's got all this extra. So if you really needed to, you could bring his head forward if you want. It's going to look a little weird, but you can. But more importantly than that, by using that joint, you can get much further down, although it would be a little odd, and you could get much further up. So now that is supposed to be all the way in the back for bot mode and ship mode, and then it'll be in the forward joint for combined mode. So we'll get to that. So we've got the shoulders will do a full 360. This will get in the way, but as you can see, it just folds forward. And these back pieces, they'll rotate with it, but they're going to have their limitations. So bringing it all the way, that's about where it stops, because then this part hits that. You can keep going a little bit more. Let's see, now you've got collision with this, so I'm just not going to risk it. I would say stop there at the straight up, just to be on the safe side. And then again, it'll go back much further because this can rotate forward. It just doesn't have the clearance to rotate backwards. There we go. This is hollow, but if you're just careful how you move it, it's not a big deal. It can go out to there before you have the collision. I'm going to fold those pegs in now. If you move your elbow up a bit, then you can do that. But yeah, you've got collision there. You do have up a little bit more because of a transformation joint. So that's about as far out, unless you rotate his arm. You can get much further out. He does have the upper bicep swivel, you can see. He has a double jointed elbow, but just because of all the ship parts. Let's see. That's the lower joint. Let's see if I can activate both. There we go. So you can get a little bit above 90 if you use both, if you play with it. But just because of all the kibble, he is going to be a little restricted. Kind of to be expected with a design like this, kind of like a lot of the Bayverse designs, or live action designs in general. He does have a wrist rotate. He has an in due to transformation, no out. His thumb is on a ball joint at the base and a single pin. His fingers are on ball joints at the base, one pin each, and they can get a little bit of a splay. Very, very little. Just enough to see some light between them. But, I mean, they are fully articulated, so they're pretty decent hands for what they are. Then he's got a waist swivel, waist rotate. He'll do a full 360 for transformation, but you'll just have to watch out, like these things. Keep them straight if you want to do a 360. I like to keep them out, which does limit the rotate without collision. So it's just a matter of how you have those. He does not have an ab crunch. Again, it's mainly due to transformation, how this joint is, these joints, there's multiple, are all set up. And let's see, hip skirt out of the way there, out of the way there, out of the way in the back. You have all the way up to there on friction, but it feels strong. Back to there on friction. Again, you have that panel that's in your way. Out to there. And then if you play with it a little bit, you can get a little bit more, but you do have some collision there. And this butt flap, it doesn't have a rotate, so it only goes up and down, nothing else. You do have your thigh rotate at the top there. There we go. Your knee is double jointed. On the lower joint, you get all the way there, and then once it activates the upper joint, you have a little bit of a cover down. The upper joint is only like the one click though. You're mainly using the lower joint. The upper is used for transformation though, and I'll point that out. Also, speaking of transformation, that's going to be a separate video, because otherwise this video would be like 3 hours long. There's just a lot to it, is what it is. So, anyway, down here, you have ankle down, ankle up, that far. You have, tab this back in, there we go. You have ankle rock, and then you have a rotate. It's on a screw. My rotate is a little on the stiff side. I have not tried to loosen that up yet, but it does have a rotate, and it will do a pretty good amount until this back piece interferes with this. So overall, for a guy this size with a very kibbly design such as this, he's got pretty good legs and then decent arms. They could be better, but it is what it is. With a design like this, that there's going to be compromises. I just thought I'm going to take that off and put the head back on, because when I do transformation, I definitely want to show it with the head on. And I'm going to film the transformation video at the same time, so it'll just be separate for the purpose of time. All right, so there's that. All right, get his head good to go. So, as big of a guy as this is, we're going to do some comparisons here. Now, first of all, I only have one other. This is a 6-person set. And, I only have the other one, the weapon for combined mode, Hu Yi, the 054A missile frigate. There he is. Let me adjust his ankles here. But, yeah. Tiny little guy. He barely comes up to the top of his red. Makes sense since he's going to be the gun for combined mode, but still tiny. And then I have to get a combiner in here because of how big this guy is. So here's Zeta Toys Superion. And yeah. Look at that height difference. Just by himself, he's above his waist. Impressive, right? I love it. I think it's impressive. And then, because this guy is more so like a live action bot, here is Black Apple Prime next to him. So, look at the little baby. And all my other live action, King of Cavaliers Prime, Fury Leader Galvatron, and Alien Attack Macron, they're all roughly his height, so I'm not going to bother showing any of them off. You see the height. You see what we get to deal with. This is a big boy. So, at this point, I am going to transform him into ship mode. Okay, there is ship mode. And, as promised, show you how to transform this guy real quick. Super, super easy. That's why I'm not really worried about it. I use my thumbnail to push in on the fin there, just to help support it. It comes out, double joint, Same thing on this side. Comes out, double joint. Get those joints flush. They tap in. They've got little fins that they lock onto. Handle up, and then this. Pop it up. Double joint. Rotate. Bring it down and tap it in. Look at that. Super easy. And then for big guy, like I said, separate transformation video. So here he is, and he is massive. I think he looks amazing with all the details. No, I'm not going to bother with all the accessories and everything. Just let it be known they're little helicopters and planes and hovercraft that you can just like put anywhere you want. Some smoke effects and things like that. And then, you know, like I said, all the spikes. So this one accessory does come pre-installed with him, and it's like a little crane. And that's about the only gimmick you have in vehicle mode other than the moving rudders and the moving propellers, if you want to call that a gimmick. So anyway, let's get a good look at this guy. We'll start with the top here. From what I can tell, he's either fully painted or the molded plastic they used is just a really good quality. But you can see all the little markings. A lot of these, actually, let's see, all of these four, and these three, pretty sure those three, I had to install. That comes pre-installed with the aircraft carrier. Most of these radar domes, so let's see, these two pieces, this piece, these three, I had to install. All the other ones came pre-installed. So you've at least got something if you don't ever want to deal with that. This is apparently a common problem. Just doesn't want to sit flush. I can get it, and then it pops up. So this one I got working pretty good. It's not 100%, but it works. But this one, yeah, that's as good as I can get it. So anyway, here is the back. Then, of course, we'll look at this side. These all came pre-installed as well. The CV16 is right side up in robot mode, but it's upside down in ship mode. So there's that. You got a little anchor detail there, painted on numbers and details. This side is mostly the same, doesn't say CV16. And then back here, it's got these fake little boats. And then here's the bottom. Folds up pretty well. This is a robot chest. But other than that, I mean, it folds up pretty well. You know, here's the two heads in there. Nice and tight, but you still have just enough wiggle room. So they're not quite putting pressure on each other, but they are very, very, very close. So that's why I say if you want to remove the combined head, leave it off. It will make your transformation a little bit easier, and then you won't have to have any fear of potential paint marring. I've transformed this guy a few times already. I don't have any paint marring, but it's one of those things where it could be one clumsy step away from having that happen. So, of course, he does sit on a stand. He just rests there. And, you know, there's not really a center per se. It's just kind of put him on there wherever you're happy with. And then, of course, the submarines, you know, they are, at least the body is fully painted. This upper area, I think it might just be molded. But the body and everything looks like it's fully painted. But there you go. Pretty decent detail. I know we already looked at those for the most part, but and then here is a size comparison. See how small the submarines are compared to the aircraft carrier, which is crazy because these are pretty big. I've got big hands. Big hands and long, lanky alien fingers. All right, let's do a couple of size comparisons here, since there's not really much else going on with him. So first and foremost, here is that combined mode weapon, Hu Yi. And yeah, again, he is just a little bit bigger than the submarine. Now, he is the smallest member, but still, so we'll get better size comparisons as I continue to get the rest of the set. But he is a big boy. And next, even though I know this guy is not G1, if you said, hey, I want him to be my G1 broadside, well, here is Deformation Space Thundercracker. So from the tip of the ship back, he is a little bit more than halfway long than Shennong. You could almost, yep. That's great. So, then finally, just because, again, could be a Bayverse design, here is Black Apple Prime. And yeah, could he fit? Oh, he almost fits. I don't want to scratch anything, damage anything. From front of ship to back of cab, he comes up right about there. So right about halfway. So he is twice as long as Black Apple oversized Prime. I just think that's impressive. But anyway, there is the ship mode. There's not much to it. Stay down. Nah. Yeah, there's not much to it. As impressive as it is, I think, as good looking as it is, I think, because those weapons are submarines, there's no true way to store them in this mode. Even the two clips that you use for the shoulder or forearm mounts, they're right here on both sides. So you can't flip them out and attach the submarines. This one you can flip out, but the submarine won't have any room. This one, it is blocked by this panel. So, and there's, like I said, there's no real way to attach anything to the stand for this guy. Hu Yi was the same way. It's the same stand. He just rested in place. So, but there you have the ship mode. And, yeah. I'm going to get him transformed into combined mode. And then we'll look at him again and finish this thing up. Okay, and here he is in his combined mode. And it is still a big combined mode. So, first and foremost, let's get a good look at his head, at all the sculpted details. Very nice color palette of the silver and the gunmetal gray and the metallic blue and the red. And just moving on down, you've got the tower exploded. It's pretty cool how he folds up. Big bulky boy. Got a big backpack, but you know, I think they cleaned it up fairly well. All things considered. You got the head hidden in there. The robot mode head. So, I mean, yeah, overall, this isn't that bad. They could have done much worse. They really could have. So there's that. Let's take a look at articulation here. So the head, you know, is just on that post. So it'll rotate around. It'll go up and down. I guess he will do a full 360. And then again, you've got that joint, so you could bring this head forward if you thought he looked better with his head up a little bit. I think he looks better with his head back. Looks more natural. And then let's see here. So these are going to be the slots for the arms. You're going to slide these little missile panels forward, drop the arm down, slide it back. They look similar to Zeta toys, not the same size. I did try. I I tried. I wanted to see if he could have airplanes for arms. Nope, will not fit. Same size, same shape. I mean, just different size. Um, which also means like the shoulder rotation is going to be in the joint, and the up and down is going to be in the joint for that other ship robot, because this is all locked in. Then you come down here, you do have a waist rotate, which will do a full 360. You do not have an ab crunch, it's all locked in. Oh man, I forgot one thing in my transformation video, and I just realized it. You gotta fold these panels out. There you go. You want those folded out. But anyway, so you've got this hip skirt can come untabbed. So you've got the two individuals, and then you could do the entire thing if you wanted, but we all want individual hip skirts, let's be honest. So it'll go up. Now I'll have to get a leg bot to see how it's all going to interfere, but it does go up. It will go out just due to transformation. And for backwards, I think we're definitely going to need to untab this. I mean, they'll go back. It's just, again, how far will they be able to go with the bot actually attached? All right, and then all this stuff tabs back in, so it can be secure if you want it to be. And then the rotate is going to be here, the thigh rotate, which is, as you can see, below all of this guy, so it should have a 360-degree thigh rotate, depending on the limitations of the leg robot. But so that's that. Just for comparison, I'm going to go ahead and be a little lazy here. Here is Deformation Space Thundercracker, and they are the same height. They are the same height. And then one of his submarines. He's a big boy. Big boy. So there we go. As I said, I need to get the other limbs that are currently out. Both arms and the right leg are currently out. We are all still waiting on the left leg. At the moment, I don't think they've even released any full color pictures or a name or anything like that. I could be wrong though. At the moment of this video, I've not seen anything. I'll put it that way. So, but there you have Shennong in his 3 modes. What an impressive guy. Personally, I love him. I'm all in on the set. I think for the size, this guy, so far, he's got pretty good articulation in robot mode, and the lower body looks like it'll be good in combined mode. For the most part, everything comes together well, tabs together well. You know, in ship mode, those feet panels didn't want to lay flat. Other than that, though, everything was pretty solid. In some cases, a little bit too solid. It'd be nice if they gave us a hair more clearance for getting the side pieces of the ship out and things like that, but I can also appreciate how solid everything is once you've got it all transformed. So yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to this guy, to the rest of the set. I think this guy was a good pickup. So it's definitely not for everybody, because it is a lot to remember in the transformation. It's not that it's difficult, but it is complicated. There is a lot going on, and you do have to watch your collision. Watch your angles with some of your joints. Make sure you don't flex them the wrong way or something of that nature. Um, but overall, the plastic quality feels good. He does have a little bit of die cast in him at almost random points. Um, and so far, like the ratchets feel strong, all the friction joints feel strong. Nothing feels like it's going to break on me through normal use, right? Um, and that was a big thing that I was a little unsure of with this guy, and I'm a little unsure of with Touch Toys Carefree as well, who, as of filming this video, I just received today, and I haven't even unboxed him yet. So this will be, I hope that I like that guy as much as I like these guys. Um, my only gripe that I could have with this guy, really, when it comes to the paint, he is like a mostly matte finish. Now, I think it looks great, don't get me wrong, but similar to the Deformation Space Seekers and Blaster, look at all, this is all from transforming him. This is a poster board, right, on a table, but the point is, all that red has just started coming off. Um, Now, I've got no signs of it coming off on the figure, but there are some points. Here's one where there is like some scratching and some marring. You can see a little bit of red right down here. Looks like red anyway. So, I mean, there are some points. It's just because of the finish they use. You can see that that little strip is a little worn. Um, Now, for me, that's not a deal breaker, but again, I'm going to show you because to you, that may be a deal breaker. I haven't noticed a lot of other stuff yet when it comes to that. Um, there, I'm sure if I look really, really hard, there will be some other little bits of marring and paint transfer. But so far, I've not seen it. I do have some nice detailing on his sides and everything. But, so either way, that's just a little, wanted to mention that about the paint. It's the same thing, like I said, the Deformation Space. You have a matte paint job. They didn't really do much of a clear coat or anything, so it looks amazing, but as you transform it, as you pose it, you may end up with some scratches and some marring. So, it is what it is, as far as I'm concerned. Overall, I still think he's great, and I would give him a light recommendation. It all depends. Like if you're into the ships, if you're into this really Japanese kind of Gundam-esque style, I think they look great for that. But if you like the more traditional Bayverse, or especially like the G1 or the Robots in Disguise or Unicron trilogy or anything like that, then yeah, I'm not sure if these guys are for you. Especially if you don't like complex transformations, because oh boy, he's complex. There are over 100 steps to transform him. Let's see, there are 110 to transform him to ship mode from robot, and there's we'll say like 88, 89 to get into combined mode from the ship. That's a lot to do. So, and even then in the book, as it's numbering those, I'd have to look again, but it might be like they show you the left side and just expect you to know how to do it on the right side kind of thing. So, like I said, there's a lot to remember. It's complex. I think it's fun. It's not that difficult to remember where everything goes after you've done it a couple times. So, but anyway, thanks for watching and listening to me ramble on about this guy. And hope you enjoyed it. And until next time.